Football is a game of what-ifs. We celebrate the Messis and Ronaldos for their longevity, but for every legend who reached the summit, there is a genius who fell into the abyss. In the first part of this series, we talked about Balotelli, Bojan Krikic, Dele Alli, Joao Felix, and Adriano. But today, we go deeper. Today we talk about the prince whose body betrayed him, the magician who refused to play by the rules, and the golden boy whose career ended before it truly began. These aren't just players who failed. These are players who had the world at their feet and lost it to injuries, ego, or simply bad luck. This is Wasted Talents Part 2. Let's start with the most heartbreaking story on this list, Marco Reus. If you look at his stats, you might think, how was he a wasted talent? He's a Dortmund legend. But for those who saw him between 2012 and 2014, we know the truth. Marco Reus was supposed to be a Ballon d'Or winner. If football was a movie, Marco Reus will be the hero who never got to live the ultimate trophy, not because he wasn't good enough, but because fate decided to test him more than any other players of his generation. Before the ACL tears, before the ankle breaks, Marco Reus was a cheat code. At Borussia Mönchengladbach, he was a whirlwind. When he returned to his boyhood club Borussia Dortmund in 2012, he completed the most terrifying attacking trio in Europe. Alongside Mario Götze and Robert Lewandowski, under Jurgen Klopp, Reus was the definition of heavy metal football. He was voted Germany's Player of the Year in 2012 and 2019, but it's the gap in between that tells the real story. In his prime, Reus had the vision of playmaker and a clinical instinct of number 9. He was the only player who could consistently challenge the dominance of Bayern München. But then we have to talk about the numbers that hung his career. Since 2010, Marco Reus has suffered over 50 different injuries in total. Marco has missed more than 250 competitive matches. To put that into perspective, that is nearly 7 full seasons lost to the treatment room. Imagine his stats, which are already elite. If you added 7 years of peak performance to them, we're talking about the player who would have comfortably sat alongside Thierry Henry or Eden Hazard in a Hall of Fame. Reus had everything. He wasn't just fast, he was football smart. His ability to find space and his lethal finishing with both feet and his leadership made him the face of the new German generation. In 2012, he was the Bundesliga Player of the Year. In 2013, he led Dortmund to a Champions League final. The wasted part of Reus isn't about his skill, it's about his time. His career is a medical tragedy. The cruelest blow, Reus was in the form of his life. In the final warm-up match against Armenia, just days before the World Cup 2014, his ankle snapped. Germany went to Brazil and lifted the trophy. Reus watched it from the couch. In 2016, another injury, another tournament missed. The 2016 Euros. In 2022, once again, an ankle injury ruled him out of the World Cup in Qatar. So why do we call him a wasted talent if he's a legend? Because we never saw the final boss version of Marco Reus for a full and healthy season. Yet, while his body was breaking, his heart stayed in Dortmund, while Lewandowski, Götze and Hummels all left for the guaranteed trophies of Bayern München. Reus stayed. He chose the yellow wall over the silver trophies. He's the glass prince, shattered many times but never losing his value. He ends his Dortmund career with over 170 goals and 130 assists. But the real tragedy is the ghost of the player he could have been, a Ballon d'Or winner who was simply too fast for his own ligaments to handle. Like Jan said, I would give all my money to be healthy, to do my job, to do what I love, to play football. Before there was CR7, there was Ricardo Quaresma. In the early 2000s, the Sporting Lisbon Academy was the most famous talent factory in the world. And back then, the scouts weren't talking about the skinny and hard-working kid named Cristiano. They were talking about Ricardo Quaresma. He was a player with such natural flair that he made the ball look like it was attached to his feet by a magnet. He was faster, more creative, and more arrogant than anyone else. He didn't just want to win, he wanted to humiliate his opponent. In 2003, Barcelona paid $6 million to bring him to Camp Nou. He was supposed to be a new Ronaldinho, but this is where the wasted talent story begins. Quaresma didn't understand the world tactics. He refused to track back, he ignored his defensive duties, and eventually he fell out with manager Frank Rijkaard. After just one season and one goal, he declared, "I won't play as long as Rijkaard is here." He returned to Porto, where he was a king, but the world knew he belonged at a higher level. When Jose Mourinho signed him for Milan in 2008 for nearly €90 million, the football world thought, if anyone can fix Quaresma, it's Mourinho. But even the special one failed. He went to Chelsea on loan and barely touched the pitch. He was a player with Ballon d'Or potential who couldn't survive in a structured system because he refused to change. However, we cannot talk about Quaresma without the Trivela. He turned the outside of the boot shot into a deadly weapon. It wasn't just a trick, it was his signature trick. From impossible angles with a curve that defied physics, Quaresma scored goals that made your jaw drop. This is the tragedy of his career. He had the most unique skill set in football history, but he lacked the winning mentality of the elite. He played for Porto, Chelsea, Inter, and Besiktas, winning the Euro in 2016 with Portugal. But he was always the wild card, coming off the bench, never the legend who led the team to glory. At the age of 25, the peak of football's career, Quaresma was already being shipped after the Turkish league. While his peer Ronaldo was winning 5 Champions Leagues, Quaresma was becoming a YouTube highlight reel. He is the ultimate proof that in modern football, raw talent is a gift, but discipline is a currency. In 2007, a 17-year-old Alexandro Pato arrived at AC Milan as a heir to the Brazilian throne. He was a golden boy with terrifying speed and the finishing of a veteran. In his first few seasons, he wasn't just a prospect, he was a superstar leading an attack of legend. The world remembers one moment, September 2011, Camp Nou. Pato destroyed Barcelona's defense in just 24 seconds. He sprinted past Busquets and Puyol like they were statues. At that moment, he looked like a future Ballon d'Or winner. There was no one faster in world football. But Pato's body was his own enemy. His explosive muscles were too powerful for his frame. In just 2 years, he suffered 16 muscle injuries. Every time he tried to sprint, something snapped. He lost his turbo button, and with it, his confidence. By age 23, Milan gave up on him. Pato finished his Milan career with 63 goals in 150 games. An incredible stat for someone so young and plagued by injury. He spent the rest of his career as a traveler, moving from Chelsea to Villarreal, then to China and the MLS. Alexandro Pato isn't a waste talent because of his bad attitude. He is a reminder that in football, the brightest flames often burn out the fastest. And that's my point. If you enjoyed this analysis and love football, not just the highlights, but real conversations about development, pressure, and the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll continue to analyze young talent, major tournaments, news, stories, and absolutely everything about football. If you disagree with my take, that's even better. Let me know in the comments. Football is about debate. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you. See you in the next video. This is Ice Cold Finish.